Hi, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of season 2 of the High Scores, High Stakes podcast. I
Yes.
am your host,
Yeah.
as always, Mr. Luvva Luvva, and with me, as always, are my co hosts.
First up, me, Cardinal Smith. How you doing? Good to be back.
Yes. Good evening. It's Tomahawk here. I'm personally very glad that we're not doing side quests anymore because I have ran out of things to say.
Yes,
Perfectly
actually,
valid.
I was struggling. I was like, see if we go into side quest number 11. I am struggling for content
There
here. I have
is a
no idea
lot
what.
of topics that we don't know what to talk about anymore. It's becoming. I'd rather just be playing games than talking about playing games.
Yes.
And now we're on to fresh, new content coming to your ears.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, what is High Scores, High Stakes? In a nutshell, it's for friends taking part in loads of gaming challenges for points to win the league and also win the coveted High Scores, High Stakes Cup
It's made
as
its
modelled
way.
by the current champion, Cardinal underscore Smith underscore.
Underscore.
Mauling it beautiful.
Underscore, it said that on the package. Underscore.
How does it
Very
feel?
good.
Anyway, it's Trophy
As
of
I was saying,
Champions.
it's just heavy to pick up, because there's so many points inside it.
Nah, it's the
The
weight of a champion. That's what it is.
that's it.
Well,
It's obviously I can pick it up because I have the points to back it up.
have you dug down to the bottom of the cup? Because I'm pretty sure the bottom of it would be half empty, and all the points came near the top end of the cup there.
It's It's a muddle of flavor. It's a topsy turvy season. I don't know how I've ended up with it, but here we are. Good luck,
It's like a
gentlemen.
bad pint. It's like a bad pint. 90% head, very little liquid.
All the flavors on top here.
With a beautiful aftertaste.
That's it. That's it. The pipes need cleaned. Right. So, season 2 of High Scores, High Stakes.
We're back.
You may notice we have brought a new theme with us. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's going to be more competitive.
Oh, wow.
And as I said on Twitter, it's going to be more orange
It's definitely
than
orange.
last series. But the color scheme isn't the only change this season. There's lots and lots and lots of changes. The first one, the big one, let's just address the elephant that's not in the room. Sherry. Sherry isn't going to be joining us for the foreseeable on the podcast. However, Sherry is going to be playing the challenges and will post scores to us.
GBNF.
So, Sherry, GBNF, get back to us soon. We need
It's
someone to
great
win
he's
in
able to play
Cardinal.
the PlayStation and submit scores from above.
From the void.
That's it. GBNF. Sherry, GBNF. He will return like the end of a
Someday.
Marvel movie. He will return. We just don't know when. But rest assured, he will be submitting scores and he will be taking part in the games. And at some point, we hope Sherry will be back to take part in the actual podcast as well. That'll be wonderful.
That's it.
No pressure,
Absolutely.
Sherry. I know you're listening to this. No pressure. Come back when you're ready. It's okay. I know it's not easy finishing last, getting the wooden spoon. The shame of it. There is no shame in coming last. Season 2's here, so you can rectify the faults of the past.
Fresh start. That's it. New beginnings.
Fresh start. That's it. That's not the only change, though. There's more. But wait, there's more.
Tell us.
The first one is we're going to have a longer season. We're jumping up from 10 challenges to 12 challenges. That leaves more room for drama. It leaves more room for points, and it leaves more room for the grudge chip.
Ooh.
And we're changing that as well. The grudge chip, we've made it simpler. The grudge chip is simply this. If you think a player has done you wrong at any stage in any challenge, or with something they said in the podcast, you can cash in your grudge chip. If you win, then you get 3 points. If you lose your chip. So it's really simple. Cash it in, win, 3 points, keep your chip. If you lose that challenge, you lose your chip. So there is room and scope to get lots and lots of points by just picking fault in other people and just challenging them to grudge chips. And that's just it. What else changed this year? Yes, Another big change. You ready to have your mind blown, boys?
Always.
Hit me.
We're introducing a season-long challenge.
What?
I know. I know.
Okay.
I never
here's the
saw
big-
this coming. Did not know this was happening.
So the season-long challenge. The season-long challenge is really, really simple. It's city skylines, and we're all going to build a city. And the player who has the highest population at the end of this season will pick up 10 bonus points.
Oh,
Do you all
that,
understand that?
That seems pretty straightforward and simple. I'm up for it. I love the sound of
Excellent.
this.
Excellent. It's really simple. Build a city, get people to live there, keep them there. Question mark, profit, succeed.
Should write a book.
chef's kiss.
I'm telling you. Motivational
If people would
speaker.
like to move to a new city that I'm building, please apply in the comments. Check the link tree. Follow me on Twitter.
Yep,
Other
he
cities
has-
are available.
I wouldn't move to any of their cities. Their rates and their taxes are extraordinarily high. Come live in Lovelandia, where everyone's happy and everyone's rich. Get me
Lovelandia.
on Twitter at Luvva_Luvva.
Lavalandia. Just no nightmare fuel. Scares me.
And then the last change number 6, is a new segment, and it's called Name That Game. And we're going to go there right now.
Name that game.
Right. Name that game. Really simple game. There's no
Chess.
points available. This is just for pride and bragging rights every week. What I've done is I've went
Oh.
onto Amazon and I've looked up games and I've scrolled down to the user reviews. I have picked some user reviews and you two have to guess the game that this
Beautiful.
user is reviewing. Do we understand?
Just about.
Yes.
I mean, we've gone through 6 very big structural changes to the podcast here,
Mhm.
but carry on. I'm on board.
It's really simple. Now I said there's no points in the season for these because I'll be asking the questions each and every week. I don't think it's fair if you two can pick up bonus points. But what I am going to do is I'm going to be keeping a tally of who's winning this.
Oh,
So it's all for pride, and I will at the end of the season shame the loser.
Fair enough.
How I do that remains a mystery. But are you
TBC.
ready for the first game in our new segment? Name that game. Are
I'm
you
all
ready,
for it.
Cardinal? Are you ready, Tomahawk?
Take us there.
Game number 1. This game has awful controls. Almost no checkpoint system, making it very frustrating. Incredibly easy to die, and combined with terrible controls and checkpoints, you could end up stuck on a 2 or 3 minute part for 30 minutes. There are loads of bugs, and I couldn't even get past the catacombs. Broke. The level kept spawning me outside the map and killing me immediately, and then froze solid. Trust me, just look at all the other reviews available and don't get this game. Or at the very least, give it a couple of months for the dev to fix the game and possibly make it playable. I've returned it, and I won't be giving it another go. Cardinal, Tomahawk, name that game.
Ooh.
What a
I
review.
mean,
that gives us absolutely nothing. The only key word was catacombs.
yeah, that's
That
like the
was-
detail,
I
and
mean,
there's
And there's no more detail. That's the worst part.
I
Oh,
think
that's
he's given you
frustrating.
all you need there. I'm assuming this is a man, by the way. But this person has given you everything that you need to name that game. Does anyone
what do
want
we
to hazard a
just
guess at this moment?
Fallout New Vegas?
Incorrect.
Is it Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Incorrect.
Ah,
Do you
Is
want me to
it
give you as a clue?
New Horizons or Horizon
No.
Zero Dawn?
No. I'll give you a clue.
let's go for the clue.
This game was released in 2022.
That was recent. I know years.
Mhm.
That wasn't long ago
That was pretty recent.
at the
What
time
another
of this
clue?
recording.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to take a guess on this one. Is it Gollum?
It is Gollum. Tom takes home the inaugural point.
Oh,
It is Gollum.
fantastic.
I mean, that game, yes. I got reviews.
It shouldn't have
What
been
a
made.
review.
It should not have
That
been
What?
made, that game.
sounds like the person's played it more than most other people who own it.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you ready for game number 2?
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Oh,
There's
okay.
more.
I'm
We're
on a
gonna do
roll.
2
Let's do
games.
it.
We'll do 2 games.
Gives Cardinal a chance to
Okay.
pull level.
This game hurts. No, not just
Wrestling.
not just my poor nostalgic soul gazing through the years at younger me, imagining what potential she had and would subsequently squander, but it physically and mentally hurts. How did you contort your thumbs into those positions? Did you really just spend endless nights trying to spin every single crate and not die once for a measly white gem? To which the answers are with youth, dexterity, and yes, there was nothing else to do because YouTube didn't exist. Here we are then, at the return of a 21-year-old series the PlayStation community has been positively clamoring for years. Was that PS1 classic version just not enough? Name that game.
I'm gonna go Spyro
Oh,
remastered.
No.
that's
Tomahawk.
all right. Good thing he
It's
said
giving
that
you
because I
everything.
definitely was also going to say Spyro.
Oh,
White
dear.
gems, boxes.
Yeah.
Is it
Old
old?
PS1
Yeah.
game.
It's not Crash Bandicoot, surely.
That's 2. Tom.
I knew
Crash
it was either between
Bandicoot.
Crash and Spyro.
I
I
figured
remember
if
playing Spyro recently, and there's like the white things you
White gems,
collect, and I
yeah.
thought,
Yeah, but of
Which is
course you get
brilliant though, because
you
his
get
wrong
white
guess.
gems in Crash Bandicoot. You get the relics and the gems for getting every crate in the level, including bonus levels.
you know what? You also get shut up.
Yeah, well,
Well
you know
on
what?
top.
I
You
like this
get
segment. Can we do this instead of the main body?
just make this the podcast.
High scores, name that game.
I'm not gonna lie. In the off season, I have spent a lot of time on Amazon reading reviews and taking notes of the good ones. There is many, many, many more game reviews to come up.
Oh,
But at the end of the inaugural edition of Name That Game, the score is Cardinal 0, Tomahawk 2.
liking it.
Plenty of time to pull that back,
Oh god,
Cardinal. But to be fair, it's
he's
embarrassing that
maximum
Rough
score.
start.
it's embarrassing. That Crash Bandicoot review gave you everything you needed. Crates, gems, PS1
Spinning.
classic, spinning. Come on. Physically hurts. I think Sherry said that the road to nowhere physically hurt him.
He did.
That's what I'm
Yes, he
saying.
did
He
say
did.
that was very much a game that ruined his happiness.
Yes, and speaking of games that bring happiness, I'm pretty sure I've only been playing games this week. So, Cardinal, please
Smooth.
tell us, what are you playing?
Amazing.
Nailed it. This week, gladly tell you briefly, I've been playing again another unheard of game from some studio called Larian.
Hmm.
Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, that's that
Beautiful.
architecture sim. The
You'd
garden
think
sim, isn't it?
you'd think but you seem to, I don't know, top down kind of Dungeons and Dragons architecture sim.
My goodness, is Chris
Minus
Pine
the
in this one?
architecture.
I don't know
What
who Chris Pine
in?
is, but he sounds spiky. Now, this is, I find it really difficult. I've never played any of the Baldur's Gate games before. Not really experienced with D&D, but there was a lot of hype, and I've been caught up with it. And I want to play with people.
So you've so you've never played any of the Baldur's Gate game before?
No,
Okay, fair enough. Okay, what do you think of it? Have you met the bear yet? The bear.
the bear. I've met
Mm.
a
Oh
few
yes, I've heard of
bears.
the infamous bear.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really connected with the community of what's going
I
on. Why
think
is there a bear?
if
But
if you've met the bear, you would
You'll
know.
know.
Hmm
oh, I see.
We're
Okay,
not going to spoil it for you.
I think he
what
should.
a
If he
treat.
doesn't know what it is, he deserves that.
I
Let's
don't
just
really
say he
mind.
gives you the bare necessities. Do
I
you want to
think
know? I
no.
don't think you do. I don't. No. We'll let
No,
you. It'll be a revelation on the podcast when you do realize what the bear means.
okay, next week
it'll change you.
we'll
Love it.
share about the bear.
Hmm Not in too much detail.
No.
PG podcast. So apart from Baldur's Gate 3, have you played anything else?
I- nothing, nothing you want to hear about. Um, there's a game we might be playing later that I've enjoyed for a short while this week, but we'll get to that.
Okay. So Tomahawk, then that leaves me to ask you, what are you playing?
Nice. I love that. I actually was gonna say I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy still, but I've
Hmm
took a bit of a step back from that, and I figured I need something just to bit mindless. I'm in my current setup doesn't allow for a good ambiance for my game playing, so I've been
hmm
playing Returnal. I sort of
Okay.
got stuck in with that again, and I've cleared the first two biomes.
Yep. Levels.
Yes, biomes. They're called
Level.
biomes.
Levels.
I love that game.
Chapters.
It's actually, it's just you can play it for about a half an hour.
Hmm
You can put it back. You've no real stake in it. You know, the loose, but you know that I feel as if the payoff's going to be decent at the end.
Yes.
There'll be some
Yes.
mad twist I'm kind of hoping for. I've maybe built it up a bit much in my head, but I'm just getting through. Like, the combat system's relatively easy, but it's just getting the new weapons. Each level you sort of progress through, they'll give you a new weapon. You die, you start back at the beginning, you get that weapon again. Love it.
Yeah. It's they keeping your adrenaline level at level 5 as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
in case you get like once you get hit, you're
It's a
up and out.
pain. It's a pain when you lose it because the controller makes that boom noise, and that just brings me sadness.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's
But it's
what it is.
great though because I went to like level 3 once you get. I think you get the grapple hook when you finish the second boss, so you can start to go and do all like high up bits and all the far
Yep.
chasms and stuff. So it gives you the shortcut to get to like section from the forest into section 3.
Okay.
And as soon as you get to the entrance of that level, it gives you a pickup to put your weapon proficiency to like level 10. So
Right.
it automatically will grant you like the higher like damage category, which is quite
Mm-hmm.
nice. So you're not having to like constantly spend all your times in level 1 just to build up your gear.
Okay. Okay.
It's quite
That's pretty
nice.
cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And that spawns every time? Or
Yeah. So well, so far
unreal?
every cycle it's spawned. As soon as you pick up whatever the item is, it just bumps your weapon proficiency up to like level 9 or level 10, and then just the doors open, and then that is your mission 3. That's level 3 started. It's great.
Love it. Love it. That's
I did get to the boss in one cycle and just decimated me. But then it
okay.
doesn't help that maybe spoiler, probably not. It doesn't help that the boss is map. Doesn't help.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I have been told that level 3 is the point where if you can beat the boss, you can beat the game.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
I'm just not digging with these like 3 full health bars that all the bosses have.
It's
It
a
just
three
means
phase
you have,
boss fight.
yeah.
Classic.
Don't like it.
But that's the way bosses always have been, the way they always will be, mate. So
Fair, fair.
why don't you create your own game with your own biomes and your
I
own
will.
bosses?
I will.
And
And
I'll
I'll
be
have
Shall we?
blackjack and hookers. But enough about my hopes and dreams. Lover, what are you playing?
I have not been playing much, to be honest. But what I have been playing is a little game called Baldur's Gate Definitive Edition, just the first one. um, yeah, I remember playing that back in the day when it came on like 7. blooming CDs and stuff. So I haven't played it since then. But yeah, it's actually
Blimey.
really good. It's actually really good. I'm about 4 or 5 hours in. Chapter 3, still weak as anything. Still getting absolutely decimated by even the most by bears mostly, and wandering,
Topical.
and a bear or a wolf or a cyclops will just come out of nowhere and absolutely destroy you. But yeah, it's a good game. It's actually, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a bit harder to get into than I remember. Obviously, it's 1996,
You didn't have the
so it's
massive manual.
I don't have the map, the cloth map. I don't
Oh,
have the
no way.
manual. I'm just sort of learning things. How do you do this? How do you do that? And learning to come to terms with the dice rolls. Like I've seen battles last 5 minutes because the dice roll said, "No, you swing and a miss. You swing and a miss. You swing
Oh,
and a
God,
miss."
that sounds hateful.
But it is actually a really good game. You get dragged into it. The story's good. The definitive edition's great. It runs really nice. It looks really nice. It's upscaled delicately, shall we say?
Okay.
Like
Oh,
it's all pre-rendered backgrounds, but the pre-rendered backgrounds have all been made for widescreen. They've all been given a cleanup of the pixels and stuff. Everything looks really, really nice. It also has these animated cutscenes. I can't remember the original one. I'm pretty sure the original one had text crawls, and that's how the story was told to you. It might have had a voiceover, but this one has like these really, really nice, high quality animated cutscenes, and it is really, really. It's a good game. It's a good game. I'm playing through that, and then I'm going to go on to probably Baldur's Gate 2, and then I'll pick up Baldur's Gate. And apart from Baldur's Gate, honestly, I haven't played much. I haven't played much.
no
So
podcast.
the podcast is lacking content, but I'll tell you what it's not lacking. A challenge. Shall we get into
They're
this
back.
week's challenge?
I'm so
Because they're
excited.
back. They are back, and I am excited for this one. This one is
Hello.
it's a cracker.
Good
It is
start.
it's a good one.
It's a good one to like dip the toes back into challenge-based gaming.
Yes. Yes. And it is a doozy. We don't know
No.
how we've done. We don't know anything about each other's runs at this challenge. So this is
Stresses.
going to make this one
Stressful.
very, very, very interesting indeed. So without any further ado, let's get to this week's Le Challenge.
Let's do it.
This week's challenge is a cracker. I know I just said it. I'm saying it again. It is a cracker.
Absolute Christmas
This
cracker.
this was Champion's choice. And as we all know, our champion is Cardinal. So Cardinal, what game did you pick for our first challenge of season 2?
Love it. I wanted to be reasonable and not pick an out and out sim racing game. I thought that maybe we go back to the roots of PlayStation.
Oh.
Oh, back in time, back to the PS1 era with a little bit of sprinkly of remastering
Oh.
Beautiful.
to one of the original games,
Oh.
Wipeout.
Wipeout. This brings me back to my nightclubbing days in the mid-90s. So Wipeout the Omega collection, just to clarify some things there. And what is this week's challenge, Cardinal? You are the champion.
Sure,
What
sure.
did you decide would be the challenge?
So rather than a straight up race amongst some space age futuristic year 2048 ship with rockets and things, what we do is Speed is the name of the
Ooh.
game. It's a you versus yourself challenge
Ooh.
where you start from nothing, start slowly, and go round and round a track as it gets faster and faster and faster and try not to blow up, essentially.
Sounds
How
sounds
long
seems
can you hold
simple.
on for?
So zone mode.
Zone mode. Thanks.
Zone mode. Okay. So zone mode. Okay. So this week's challenge, just to summarize what Cardinal said in a very roundabout way there. It's Wipeout Omega Collection, Wipeout 2048, zone mode on the racetrack, Veneta K. Simple, square shape, track, very little to trip us up. So it should make it nice and even. How are we doing the points this week? We're going all
Many.
out for. There's many points. We're going all out for the first episode. So we are going to split the score into two categories. The first category is the number of zones cleared. So that's going to have a first, a second, a third, and fourth place. And then we have a high score, which again is going to have a first, a second, a third, and a fourth place. And then we have 2 bonus points to dole out.
Ooh, all out.
The first bonus point is going to be for the highest top speed because it's Wipeout. And you have to give points for going fast. And then the second bonus point is the number of laps cleared. So it's wonderful. It's got the whole heap right now. There could be one player who could be looking at a maximum of 8 points.
That'll be some way to start.
That
their
would
defense.
That's a
would
big,
be
big
a
haul.
heck of a clean sweep. But yep, that's the reality of it. You could leave this episode with 0 points, or you could leave it with a maximum of 8 points.
Mm.
That is
We're not doing any half measures this season, definitely.
oh, that's what I said at the start. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's going to be more competitive. I like the way Cardinal said he didn't want to pick a racing
slightly crazy.
simulator because he didn't want to get embarrassed when he lost.
No,
He didn't
the
want to
reason I
take
didn't
on
pick
my
Gran
mini.
Turismo is because Tom doesn't own it, and I don't want
And I
to force Tom
refuse
into
to pay.
spending 35 plus quid for a game that I kind of imagine will at some stage be on PS Plus, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, it's,
You'd
it
hope.
is, isn't it? Once the player base starts dwindling, Sony will go, get that on. Nah, get it on.
Get it free to play.
We need Tom. Nah.
Until that day,
Nice.
until Sony start to name drop me.
So
Yep, who knows?
before we get to the gameplay of Wipeout, I'm curious. Cardinal, you chose it. You chose a challenge. You chose a track. You chose everything about it. How confident are you?
I really like Wipeout.
Mhm.
I played on PS4 with the VR, and I played a
Mhm.
lot of it. That was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
I thought it would be an okay balancer because it was so long ago, but I do feel like I'm hoping my experience plays some part of it.
Okay.
Okay. And what about you, Tom? What's your experience with Wipeout?
My experience is minimal in Wipeout, to be honest. I don't much play until the Omega edition was released. Going into this, me and you, Lover, were discussing this a couple of days ago, actually. I started doing the run. I started getting my, my practice in. I spotted in, your local friends list and their high scores and stuff. And I obviously know that Mr. Cardinal Smith came up on my list. I thought to myself, as long as I can stay in touch with him, and I knew it was a previous record because you said you hadn't even installed the game at this point. I thought if I can stay in touch with this, I'm in with a shout. So I don't know. This is that. Now that we've all been talking about it, I don't know. There's so many unknowns going into this, and I don't even know how everyone else fared. I haven't looked at anything. Anxiety is through the roof on this one now.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I'm like Cardinal. I loved Wipeout back in the day. Not the first one. First one was too twitchy and too hard. I liked the sequel, 2097. Loved 2097. I love Wipeout 3. Played the Omega Collection when it came out on VR. Incredible. One of the best gaming experiences I've ever had.
So good.
But that was like 4 years ago. So I booted it up, and it took a very long time to reacclimatize myself to Wipeout and what it demands from you. In fact, it took me a very long time, about an hour, to realize in zone mode you don't have to hold the accelerator button.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I played Zone Mode and I thought, you know what, I don't know if I'm doing well or not. So I did a race, and at the very start it was like do do, and it's like, why am I not moving? It's like, oh, I'm supposed to hold down an X, but
Yeah, it took me about an hour to realize I didn't have to hold X.
I still did it though, to be fair, even on instinct, even today I went back and was like, there's no point. I've plateaued. I'm never gonna plus I'm past submission, so it didn't matter. I still held down A if that was gonna, or X as if that was gonna make bloody
It's
difference.
going to help. I love the way also when a PlayStation podcast, Tomahawk had to
Still
look at his
said A.
controller to realize what the button is on his controller. This bodes well for his run. I can't wait to see it. And speaking of
Frig me.
just looking
our
for the A button here.
just it's on the back, mate. It's on he's got one of those.
Shape? Is it the shape here? It's like an A.
Tom has one of those scuff controllers with the 4 paddles at the back. One of them's A.
I'm not living this down anytime soon, am I, lads?
It's actually
It's like
just a modified Mega Drive controller. It's not even Xbox. It's ABC. Just
It's like the old N64 controller bottom.
yeah.
I've just got a
Incredible.
secret A button painted on.
Incredible. Okay, so with regards to viewing the runs, basically what we have done here tonight is we don't know whose run is who, and we have picked the run order for each one as a completely random choice. So the way we're going to play it is the first attempt we're going to see is called Highway to the Danger Zone, and whoever owns that run. So without any, that's the
Copyright
very
strike.
That's
same.
definitely
Yeah.
how the song goes, yeah.
That's definitely how the song goes. It's definitely not an original creation of High Scores, High Stakes. Not at all. So, Highway to the Danger Zone is going to be our first one. The second one is MJS in the Zone.
I wonder.
He didn't even try to hide his name. He didn't even try to hide his name. The third video we're going to watch is I Am Speed. And then the last video we're going to see is Wiped Out. So without any further ado, Cardinal _Smith _. Let's line up Highway to the Danger Zone. Let's do this, gentlemen. Let's analyze Highway to the Danger Zone. Incredible.
Give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1, go. And here we go with Wipeout. And here we go. So yeah, this is going to be incredible. I have no doubt in my mind this is going to be competitive because this track is actually rather simple. There's not too much to it. But
Yeah,
this
you
is
say that, and it's the pace really picks up.
it
on this
does.
track.
Oh god, yeah,
It's
absolutely.
pretty tight.
I even
It
found that
does.
after the first 3 or 4 zones, that first couple of left-hand turns become very, very tight very quickly.
Yes.
Absolutely. So this person got a perfect lap on
Yep.
there, so they get extra points. Bonuses. They're really going for those boosts as well, which are gathering
Yep.
extra points.
Yes, they do. So every boost is an extra point. You get bonus points for clean zones. You get bonus points for perfect
laps as
zones,
well.
perfect laps, and you get all sorts of bonus points for a lot of different things. Another perfect lap. It is. Well, the thing I love about this mode. The thing I love about this mode is the change in colors as well. You know exactly where you are on the left-hand side of the screen. It gives you zone numbers. You know exactly where you are based on the colors. And one thing that struck me very quickly on is your zone clearances and your laps are independent of one another.
Perfect laps. Sorry.
It's on. It's unreal. This is a great
It's
run.
quite precision driving, to be fair. It's
It really is.
It is.
very impressive to see. No, and I thought that just about the color scheme changing. It changes in with the beat of the music as well, so it's
Yeah.
very aesthetic and pleasing in that
Yeah.
regard as well.
I find
This
it.
isn't a fourth.
That's
Fourth perfect lap.
incredible.
30,000 points already.
I find this mode to be, to use the name of the mode, I find that you just got into what it wants you, and you get into this zone, and it becomes almost robotic in what you're doing. Here's the question for you: is I streamed this on the High Scores High Stakes Twitch.tv channel for 2 hours and did absolutely appalling.
Yeah.
And it was because I was using the analog stick. So the question is, did you use the analog stick or did you use a D-pad? Because I switched to the D-pad and had way more success.
I went
Really?
between the analog stick and using triggers to strafe left and right.
Okay.
So the triggers
Yes.
actually, the triggers require to touch, but if you know when you're on a harder put on the triggers to sort of execute it, but then I did kind of panic and would, for comfort, go back to the analog stick, even though it is a chaotic driving.
Yeah, I find tapping the D-pad rather
Okay.
than doing anything. When you say you use the air brakes, so they're your R2, L2 buttons are your air brakes. You say you use them. How'd you use them? Did you tap them? Did you double tap them? Did you
So
hold?
the double tap will just launch you across the track, whereas if you just like tap them,
that's
you'll
bit
start
nasty.
to drift nearly.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of was just using like light tap or a bit like,
Oh,
a
this
bit
is
more
fast.
a
Sorry.
bit more aggressive.
Okay. So when I was playing it, I half tapped the triggers. That's how I got round corners and
Okay.
stuff. I don't think I double tapped at all. I don't think I held the trigger. Just little light touches. I also found, I don't know about you, Cardinal, inertia is a real thing in Wipeout. It's a thing I forgot about, is that there is an inertia to it. So
How do you mean
To get-
inertia?
to get around tight corners, I find I had to air brake early and turn into it because there's a
Yes.
delay because it's anti-gravity. There's a delay in what you want the ship to do and the ship doing it. And I find that turning early into corners, braking early into corners, really, really helped me get up through the zones. So this is a good run.
That's
That's
it,
a
and
very
we're
good run.
just eclipsed 53,000 points on this run. So this is I mean, we've said this
Good run.
in the build-up.
It's a big run.
This is actually looking like it's a great benchmark, at least anyway.
That's it. Yeah. It's fast.
It's,
It's fast.
it's
One thing that struck me about this was Tomahawk you in our chat. Grips faster than Wipeout. Yes, for a very short period of time, and then Wipeout just. And this
blows
is
it
all
out the
running.
water.
This is all running 4K 60 frames, like flawless. It's just an incredible looking game, incredible running game, and incredible playing game. I forgot how good Wipeout is. It's brilliant. But what?
60,000 points now,
Goodness.
just that being elapsed.
There it is. 60k. And it's
There
over.
we go. That's the end of it. That is the
Wow,
end
buddy.
of it. That is a heck of a run. Let me just get this scores here.
Wow.
60,261.
So what we got here? So 60,261.
Yeah.
And then what was the top speed? 1,000.
1047.
47.
And then we have zones cleared 30. Laps cleared 14. So now the question is, whose run do you think that was? That's the question.
I think we all know that was Luvva's.
I absolutely knew. As soon as I saw Dane, very much a Luvva
Yes, that is me. That was me. So it was, and yes, I got what 4 perfect laps all to start. The first 4 laps,
Yeah.
I didn't touch. It was just one of those runs where that was the one where a few runs before this, I think my like record was like 56,000, and then I realized that for hitting boosts, you got I think it was 100 or 1,000 points, and then for every perfect lap, you got like 2,000 points.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so if I keep it clean when it's slow, then you're going to score pretty high. So the zones cleared isn't actually that high. What I struggled with was as you go through your zones, you'll hear the announcer. It'll go like rapier, sub rapier, and what they are speed classes in Wipeout. They're all speed class of ship, and I
Mhm.
find every sort of like 3 or 4 classes, all your breaking points, your turning points,
Yeah.
all change because you're going so much faster and the inertia changes. And it took me, there's a couple of bits there you'll see the really dirty sections, and they sort of coincide with that change in speed class.
Changing pace, yeah.
Yep, and just sort of getting used to, okay, where do I have to go? So what I liked about Zone is it tests track knowledge. Do you know where the boosts are? Because even though the faster you go, that you don't want to hit those boosts, I purposely went for every single
Near enough
one
every single one you could, yeah.
that I thought I could get around the corner after hitting, because they do tend to be just before corners. And the ones I was confident with, I was like, yeah, I'll hit that and I'll just go for it. At the first, I would say 12 or 13 zones, I was confident to hit every single one of them as long as I didn't overturn. I think I said in my stream, I thought 20 zones is like your bare minimum, because I don't think it asks too much of you for your first. Certainly 15 zones doesn't ask too much. 20 is a wee bit more difficult, but it doesn't require too much dedication from the player to get up to 20 zones, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I just don't think it asks that much of you. And then once it hits like 25, that's where
The actual
the
challenge kind of starts nearly.
the cat meets the pigeons. Yeah. So I was happy with that. That was a PB for me. And I was happy enough for that. Happy enough for that. And I think it's a good score.
It's a great
Um,
benchmark. Really, really is.
yeah. Yep, I do. So the next one up. Go on ahead, Carnell. You want to say
I
something?
would just keep an art back in the vines. We're throwing out a lot of points, and perfect laps seems like something that should be rewarded. But let's see how the others do too. Who have we got, or what is the name of the video next?
MJS. I wonder whose video this is.
It would come. It would come as a shock to you.
MJS in the zone. I see what he's done there. He's went for a Corey in the house type vibe, and I'm all about those vibes. And here we go with. Let's just get out of the way now. Whose run do we think this is?
It's gonna be Mr. John Sherry, and I have that this run's
Is this
gonna
a different
be.
track? This is reverse.
This is reverse.
He's done it in reverse.
Sherry.
Why did he pick reverse?
What's he
Why
doing?
does Sherry do anything in this podcast? Wow, Van, thank you. Got
What
the
has
deadline.
I mean,
Panicked. There's also a jump. There's no jump at any of this.
yeah. At the very. Is it this? This is a reverse track. It is. It's reversed. There is the wee jump before you hit the middle boost.
Yes.
Near
sorry,
the
you're right.
end of the track. It's a drop down. Yeah. What's Sherry? I love this. This is just incredible to see. He's tied one hand behind his back, and he's just said, "This isn't for me, gentlemen.
That's
Enjoy
part of
your."
the course anyway.
I love it, and this is clearly. I mean, how long did we have to play this? 6 days?
A good week, solid, yeah.
Something
6
like that.
days. And he's
I-
jumped on 5 to midnight, threw this on, picked the wrong track, and went YOLO. Let's do this.
But what's
Let
made me
us
laugh
win.
is in all the prep, all of the background stuff that never won. The word reverse never came into any chat, any course, anything.
In
And he just went, you know what I fancy doing? This in reverse.
To play devil's advocate here, the menu system in Wipeout 2048 is a bit confusing. It's not a list of tracks, it's little icons. And if you accidentally push down before you hit play, you're going to go to reverse and it wouldn't look like you've changed at all. So this could be an honest and genuine mistake on his part. But surely, because he asked, he's like, what's the track called?
The track?
And we told him Veneta K, because it's nice and simple. Let's not do anything. Reverse is always,
just
I find,
awkward.
In racing games, obviously the PlayStation 1 came out at that time where arcade games were really good. And one thing arcade games used to do all the time to heighten the content in it was like, oh, here's the reverse track. But the tracks were always designed for the correct way. And playing the reverse track was always more difficult because the tracks aren't designed to go backwards on.
Yeah.
So he's tied his hand behind his back here by picking the reverse track by sheer accident. What an idiot.
He's just hit zone 16 and he's at
24,000. He is about half health. He's sort of using the walls as bricks, which can be a problem.
Especially when the lifespan of your run is dependent on your life and armor or your...
In fairness to him, he's doing all right here. I mean,
he's getting rhythm in the more complicated parts, I've noticed.
Yeah.
It's like he's getting a feel for... It's like this is his first time playing the game, and he's just kind of getting a feel for it now.
It probably is.
It's very much a Sherry approach to the podcast. It once, and then never discuss it again.
I love it. But my favorite part of this was, that's my run, and I've deleted it from the PlayStation. Thank you very much. So let's get his stats then. High schooler, 30,000. Well, that's not bad.
For a reverse
20
track.
zone clears.
Like,
First
it's
go
not
at the game. You called it out, Luvva, that the first 15 shouldn't challenge it, and then up to 20 right. So he's cleared 20.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think that's par for the course for zones cleared. To be honest, that's not bad. That's not bad. Considering I know for a fact Sherry's probably contemplated playing this for half an hour. Played it for this is probably his one and only run on it. You know what? He's probably done 3. We'll give him this is probably his 3rd go at it, and he's just realised halfway through this one, oh yeah, there's your air brakes. It's probably been on the loading screen. You know, remember to use your air brakes. Oh, that's right. Because that's what reminded me about them. I'm not gonna lie. But yes. So yeah, it's all right. His top speed's not a million miles away from mine, to be honest.
No,
like
it's sitting at about...
It's about 150.
Exactly, yeah. But his his score, his zones, laps cleared are about half of yours, so that could just his reverse track syndrome, or it could just the non-committal. Who knows?
If he had picked the right track, I have no doubt he would have got
been
at least 5 more zones.
Score.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's substantially easier to do the track the correct way.
The one thing I will say though, it puts him in 2nd place.
He is currently
that's true.
In 2nd. He is currently in 2nd. But yeah.
Points are
Cardinal.
available.
Things you love to see.
So Cherry's not here, but it's good to see some things never change.
It also was alarming when I saw. I think that was also a bit of a giveaway.
What's this? Oh, the video length. Yeah, yeah, because I think mine was 6 minutes. It's his 4.
Says a lot, I suppose.
He ran for 3:28. This is gonna be close.
Feel it in my bones now.
Excitement is overcoming everyone. I'm feeling it in my toes. But here we go. Nice, clean, slow. Build up of speed. Build up of anticipation. So I am Speed. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Tomahawk knew exactly who said that and where it came from. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that this is not Cardinal's run at all. but it is Tomahawks.
Oh, come on. You know the Cardinal lacks the creative slogan.
You
Cardinal
guys
has no
are the
idea.
slogan bros, but if this is Tomahawk, because I think it is Tomahawk because this isn't my run.
Oh, there we go.
Then he's just started off with a perfect lap, just to kick off.
Just for funsies, he's just coming in here and saying, "You know what? This is my
Why?
yard.
Just talking like, oh, I don't really play Wipeout.
I actually developed
I think he's
Wipeout to
gonna
make the
get
collection.
two perfect laps to begin
Two
with.
perfect laps. Yeah.
Now the problem with this is I played very close to the corners. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about with inertia. Where you naturally want to turn, it's too late, and then you have to rely on your air brakes to kind of bail you out a wee bit. So you've used your air brakes there. That's pulled you into a wall.
That's it. And sometimes a bit too trigger happy with. Just I think maybe at some point in this run you'll just see me get into the barrier now because YOLO, like.
Yeah.
It feels really good when you pull the triggers, the air brakes, and it
And you
actually
just
works.
catches
Yes.
it perfectly. Yeah.
You try it the next lap or the next grade up, and what you do is you steer left when you're in a straight line into a wall, into barrier,
Yeah.
rather than turn the corner.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. How long did you play Wipeout for this week?
2 hours.
2 hours. What about you, Cardinal?
Probably similar.
About 2 hours. Okay, so I've out timed yous. So I streamed it for 2 hours, and then played it for maybe another hour, an hour and 20.
I did play 2048 first before I found out we were playing HD. But yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's HD. 2048.
That's
It's funny how, because the Wipeout, the Omega Collection is what, 3 games, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's 2048, Fury, and HD. And it's funny because I played mostly HD, went to 2048, and the controls significantly different. They feel like different games. Like they look really similar, but they feel very different. You know you're playing a different game when you're playing Fury or
Oh,
or-
right.
I think so anyway. It was just
I
me.
find this really sensitive.
Yes,
Just like
the
every
controls
touch
are
of the
incredibly
analogs.
simple.
Yeah,
Twitchy.
I only used analog sticks and the trigger. I never used directional buttons, and every touch was so minimal, made such a difference. It's getting
And
quick
that's-
now.
That is why I stopped using the analog stick, and I started tapping the direction I wanted my ship to go in.
I think.
So I didn't hold. I tapped.
I also think that only thinking back to the finite time that I did play this on the PS4, I find that the control of the dual sense makes a big difference in like response time and like how it feels. Whereas I thought playing this and doing the brakes and the controller and steering and everything felt a bit more natural on the DualShock 4.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Interesting.
that's very interesting indeed.
So-
I didn't. Go ahead.
I have a question actually. It's on that into the last left hand. On one of my practice runs, I may have overhit the boost and like nearly fell off the level. Did any of you?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
just
Not
me
on, not on this track, but there was a couple of parts that jump there a couple of times in earlier playthroughs. I did come off the track completely, and you can't do it. Yeah, but
My first run I was submitting, I came up and absolutely wrecked myself there, flying off the course.
And-
I thought, I need to do this again. I wasn't
That
happy with that.
that's getting a bit hairy now.
This is the part
It's
that
the,
got me.
it's the overcorrect.
Uh-oh.
It's the
Yeah.
overcorrection that is the killer.
Whoa.
Like,
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
And we're just about to hit 50k.
Oh dear, Tom, come on.
oh,
We
whoa.
hit the 50k.
You just need to calm down.
I think it takes like one bad turn, overcorrect, laughing. When you get back into a rhythm of it, which I don't think.
Yeah, you can see where you're holding the air brakes rather than just. Again, I tapped them. I didn't hold them. I tapped them.
Yeah, I got
I
in my
treat it
own
like.
head.
I treat it less like
so easy to do that
F-Zero.
because everything's so quick at this stage that
Mhm.
even like
One-
okay, you can't. You've no time to settle yourself down.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
55,000.
found at this point though as well because
Oh. Oh dear.
the headphones plugged into the DualSense, and I just didn't play this with no audio, no nothing. I was just like, the music's annoying me. The music's actually like drawing my focus away.
Oh really?
So I like
I-
had to do it in like others just so I could
He's still
focus
going.
more.
Oh. Yeah, that's close. That's close.
Let's
I think
see
it was like
these
58,
stats.
59,000.
Oh wow.
My goodness. That top speed, though. That top
Oh
speed.
my goodness!
58,495.
100 boosts.
I went all out,
71
to be fair.
kilometers.
I went all out on the boosts, really.
That is
Goodness, Tomahawk.
something else.
15 laps, that's from, if my math is here, that's 1 lap more than Luvva managed.
Oh,
Yeah, it is, yeah. And 2 more zones.
Wow.
So if I get
Mhm.
this right, Luvva has a higher zone score, but Tomahawk
Yes.
has done more laps and a
More
higher speed.
zones. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
And more boosts. More boosts as well. And he travel further. That just goes to show you, it's all about those perfect laps. It's all about those clean,
that's it, 'cause
clean,
you had
clean
three-
laps.
3
4.
more.
Not 4. 4 perfects.
Yeah, right enough. And what did you
So
say?
Luvva
A
had a
perfect lap is like
1,000.
I think it's either 1,000 or 2,000 points. I think it's 1,000, but you do get points, and it's a substantial jump. It gets you up the zones quicker.
Oh wait, so essentially those 2 perfect laps that you have on me
Is the
is
difference?
kind of the undoing. Yeah, wow.
It's the difference, yeah. Mm-hmm. It is the difference between us. That
Oh,
is
wait.
insanely close, which
That's
leads us
very
to
close.
one more run, wiped out, which I'm sure has to be. Now I'm no Hollywood detective, but we've seen my run, we've seen Sherry's run, we've seen Tomahawk's run. That can only mean one thing:
Allegedly.
it's Cardinal. It's Cardinal's run. Let's get it.
Straight to it.
Cardinal Smith.
Reigning
Can
champion.
you rein in Mr. Luvva Luvva? Or
Let's go.
Tomahawk? Let's see how these points are going to be dished out, because it's going to be... I think it's fair to say no one's walking away here with 8 points.
That's tight. Very tight.
It
now.
is... Oh, I'm excited to see this now.
This is gonna be like the next six minutes or so of radio
Just
silence now while we dissect what goes on here.
It's just going to be...
Hoping he crashes.
Oh, yes, and Cardinal Smith,
Hoping he crashes.
I think we all know, is our resident driving expert. He
Also a good
won a
racer.
trophy once at a Mexico GP, isn't that right, Cardinal?
That's right. I'll get that trophy too. Edit it in if you just want.
Sure, why not? Yeah, why not? Mexico, the easiest of all the GP courses, just to saying. Amateur league.
Mixed
really.
weather conditions, safety car, you know, okay.
The whole
What you
shebang.
will see is I haven't gone for all the boosts. And
I've
gone for
noticing
some,
this.
but I didn't. I wanted to prioritize getting the perfect lap to start with.
Zone 5.
Okay, yep.
Clear.
That
Makes
makes
sense.
sense. You wanna get like a nice ease of confidence going into the.
You want to get the... In my opinion, you need
Kiss the
You need-
apex.
perfect laps.
And
We've
this
seen
one isn't
between
gonna be
me
a
and
perfect lap.
Tomahawk. No. We've seen me and Tomahawk there. The only thing separating our score,
2 perfect laps.
2
Exactly.
perfect laps. I mean, it says a lot for precision.
There's a few kisses and scrapes here, Cardinal.
Where is Cardinal? What's going on here? Talk us through this. What? You must be like
There-
sweating.
That's
Obviously
it. At this
thought-
stage, it's moved up the speed, and you keep talking about inertia, but as you say, it changes the turning in points, sort of,
It does, yeah.
and everything. And I struggle to adjust. Maybe each time
Yep.
it
Zone 10.
it does.
Clear.
It does it.
And
Every
my
time it goes
goodness.
up in name
Oh, wow.
class.
They're
Every
like-
time it went up in name class, I was like, ooh.
In the
But
like 1 to 5 block, they're very subtle, the jumps, but it's every 2 do notice it on like 5th jump. Big speed
Every
increase.
yeah, yeah, and then it gets to like Zen. It's called the Zone Zen, and it is just
Oh wow.
oh,
For
Here,
those
less
not watching, Cardinal nearly just
Whoosh.
left the map.
my
Yep.
goodness. The only thing saved you there was the wall, because that was very near. So if you go off the course, so when I was testing the courses out, a few of the courses don't have barriers, and you can drive off. If you drive off the course, it takes away about slightly less than a quarter of your overall armor.
Okay.
It just puts you back on, but your health is greatly depleted. But this is nice.
31,500 points he's passed
Mm-hmm.
So with
climbing, but he
this-
has, yeah.
Yeah, at this stage, I've got my energy back. And I've just lost some again there. So if you keep it clean for a while, you regain your energy
You really get a wee bit, yeah.
a little
This
bit.
is-
And I try and use the air brakes at certain points here.
That's a nice,
just to keep it.
nice looking turn there.
That was very nice section completely.
And I really struggle with this long corner. And this one here, those are my two worst.
See,
You
that,
really had that corner down. You turned angle into it as you went into the air. And it
the corner, yeah. And that little S bend just before there, you have to turn. Once you turn left, you have to immediately turn right, and that's how you make that. You have to do it immediately after, otherwise you're always. So this one always, as soon as you hit left, always hit right straight after, and that will get you straight in without touching the wall. But it's what I didn't realize was how much skill is required and how much skill Wipeout demands off of you. It is a hard game, but you do feel every time you play it, you do feel like you're improving, and if you make changes, you'll see changes on the screen, which isn't very common with futuristic racers. Oftentimes they just ramp up the difficulty and, you know, make it really difficult, but this game is
Aye.
really skill based. It's incredible.
No, because I remember you saying, even in the day when we were playing Grip, I think you said you carried on playing it afterward. Rather than force you to be better, it just ups
Yeah,
possible
just
to play.
yeah, it just ramps up the AI speed, AI armor, and how aggressive they are. Oh, oh dear, that is a messy, messy
dodgy
section.
tap and then a recorrect with the air brakes
That's
because you
what I
just
mean, the-
bounce around like a domino.
The
Bounce around like a domino.
overcorrection is a killer.
Oh,
Don't
my
lose your
goodness.
points.
Yeah, you just need to drive clean, boys. Don't make any errors. That's the
Oh
rule
yeah,
of the
that's
game.
it. Yeah.
So, did anyone see the global leader for this track?
Yes.
And how many's
I did
100, 103 zones cleared?
Which is ridiculous. I don't know how. I mean, you must be able to just do it with your eyes closed at that stage. You just know the track so well.
Yeah,
We're hitting the barrier a lot here.
yes, we are. We are.
we need to-
4,000 points cleared.
It is
And
getting
now it's time to just get into the
nasty.
zone. Try
We're
not to touch
chasing-
anything for a minute.
We're chasing Tomahawk here. We're closing down. I'm worried now.
Yeah, so am I. I'm not gonna lie here, because some parts are really clean, other parts are nasty.
Nasty.
Yeah.
So I'm just keeping a quick eye on the score.
I thought that was it. I thought that was it.
Oh dear me.
Oh, Cardinal. Oh dear, Cardinal. He's just bouncing around off the barriers.
I can assume that the score he's
free.
elapsed is in second now, so chase is on for Luvva.
That's it. Oh, stop,
hitting
Cardinal.
the
Crash.
walls.
Crash.
We're hitting the
Come
walls.
on. Crash.
Energy critical.
Oh my
Scary.
goodness. This
Still going,
is.
though.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious me.
And this is
Oh.
No, that's surely
gotta be it.
Nope. There we go. Woo. My goodness, that is. Oh.
Wow.
Oh my goodness gracious me. So zone cleared. 38.
I think
Wowzers.
my last
15.
point big crash was just ahead of the straight, and that allowed
My
me just
goodness.
a stretch of straight line.
My
get through
goodness
another
gracious
zone.
me.
But,
Whoa.
you know
Gentlemen,
what, though,
gentlemen.
like,
gentlemen.
closer than you think. It's not
I
like we see that Cardinals got the zone score win there, but
Yep.
throws a lot
I
into
mean,
the rest of the metric.
let's be honest here. So zones. I mean, that's why I said this at the start. This one's the simplest track, and it should keep it close. But it's it's
Yeah.
incredible. Let's work the numbers, and we'll come back to who gets what score. Yeah, incredible. Cardinal, heck of a run, mate. Heck of a run. Well
That's
done.
it was hairy at parts, but I think bringing it back by some clean corners and clean like majority of your section, bringing
After
back up.
watching all this, I felt like you two, Love It and Tomahawk were the cleanest by
Mhm.
quite some margin. I regularly had a kiss and a bounce and a
Yeah.
above Barry R.
Yeah. I mean, that is crazy. So it is that I can't believe how close that was.
Have
So
you
I
got the
can't. That
stats? Do you want me to lock this
is.
down?
I have them. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, gentlemen. That was
Carnage.
that was close.
That was very,
Like
very close. That was closer than I thought.
spectacularly close. That was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right. So let's get down to the brass taxes here, okay? Let's get
Brass
down to
taxes.
it. Football bumps. Let's get down to it. So we are going to have a first, second, and third for zones cleared. Okay. So zones cleared by my numbers are as follows. In fourth place, who will surprise nobody, Sherry with 20. In third place for zones cleared is me with 33. So I get 1 point. In second place for zones cleared is Tomahawk with 35. So Tomahawk gets 2 points. And then in first place, getting the 3 points, starting the season strong with 38 zones cleared, is Cardinal Smith.
Beautiful racing.
Cardinal, unreal, mate.
Absolutely fantastic.
Unreal. It was touch and go for a long period there, but yeah,
Really
you
was.
eked it through. You eked it through. Well
It
done.
was.
I can't. We'll hold it off. Right.
But yeah.
The next set of scores we have is high score. So here's what we're looking at. In fourth place, getting 0 points. Shock, horror, Sherry. And I have him at 30,082.
30,082 is exactly right.
Yep. In third place, getting 1 point is Tomahawk. Tomahawk got 58,498 points. In second place, getting 2 points is me with 60,261 points. And in first place, picking up 3 points is Cardinal Smith with a score of 62,758. So right now, the total scores are Sherry with 0, me with 3, Tomahawk with 3, Cardinal Smith sitting on 6. But we still have the small idea of the bonus points. So, top speed. Here's the top speeds we have. Who's going to get the 1 bonus point? Sherry's top speed in last place, 899 kilometers per hour. And then we have me with 1,047 kilometers per hour, which is fast. It's fast.
It was very fast. At
Then,
the time.
then Tomahawk with 1,106 kilometers per hour, which means Cardinal is getting the bonus point with a speed of 1,124 miles an hour
No
or kilometers
way
an hour.
it's that close.
18 kilometers per hour.
It's all
That
I'll
is
say.
mad.
It's speed on the verge of just uncontrol.
It's vulgar. vulgar speed. If you get caught by the police doing that speed, you'll get 12 points and disqualified for 3 years. You have to retest. It's vulgar speed. Cardinal,
Nightmare.
have a word with yourself, mate. It's unsafe.
So you made
Now,
deducted that bonus point.
I mean, I'll chat to the shareholders of High Score High Stakes, and then the last bonus points then is for laps cleared. So in last place, Sherry with 20, the bare minimum, and then we have me with 33 laps cleared. Pretty good. Pretty good. Second place, Tomahawk with 35 laps, or zone, sorry, and then lastly, getting the bonus point is Cardinal Smith with 38. So that's pretty strong start. Champion's choice has paid off. Lovely. Cardinal, to quote Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, you chose wisely. How do you feel, mate?
Like I haven't just crumbled to dust in a skeleton from drinking from the. I have drunk from the chalice of Christ or whatever it's called. I'm glad it's
Yes.
paid off.
The chalice of Wipeout.
I think it's needed to for the rest of the season. And I needed to make a good start because I know some of the games coming up, and it's going to be a fluctuating season for all of us.
I mean, it's incredible. This podcast, Futuristic Racers, match made in heaven. It's the second one we've done, and it is again as close as it can be. That is crazy how close that is.
I didn't expect it to be that close.
What is it? It's like 18 kilometers per hour for the top speed. There's 3 zones in it. There's 3 laps in it. It is
very close. And even like the high scores as well. Like you go from 58,500 to 60,261 to 62,000.
Yeah,
we're all in the same ballpark.
Yeah, that's as an opener to season 2. That is
can't get closer.
You can't get closer than that. I think, yeah, I put together a run. Like my previous best from years ago was like 54,000 in this, and it took me a long time to get there. And then once I got there, I don't know how you guys felt. The more I played it and the further I got, the easier the start of it felt.
Yeah.
And for longer, the start felt easy for longer. And I think given time, I think all of us would have improved our score, but it just hits a point where you just hit the wall and then you try to fix it. And the game's like, no.
The game pushes back. That's when it's
the physics of Wipeout. Wipeout, it's great and it feels great when you're doing things right. Wipeout feels amazing. But when things go wrong, Wipeout feels awful.
Yeah.
You're turning left and right in a straight line where you should not be turning left and right.
The worst thing you can do once you make a mistake is hit the air brake because it just throws your inertia out the window.
Me and Cardinal very much a testament to that.
Yeah, it spins you and you're lost. It's like, how do you fix a skid in a thing that's not skidding? Yeah, because you instinctively go, I'll just turn into it, but you're not skidding. There's no gravity. You're just bobbing yourself. It's mad. It is mental. So even though all those scores were really close, the only score that matters in this podcast is the league table. And right now, the league table looks like this. In 4th place with 0 points, Mr. John Sherry.
He's making a habit.
In 3rd place with 3 points is me. In 2nd place with 3 points is Tom. And in 1st place with
maximum
8
points
is Cardinal Smith. He has not given up the reign of champion without putting up a fight, and that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Cardinal,
Come get the mug.
Oh, there we go. The mug is
Come get the
back.
mug.
And I'm not talking about Cardinal. Yeah. But yes, that was incredible. That was
I think we should do these more often where we don't
see each other.
What podcasts?
more. Yeah, we should just do less podcasting. Wipe it.
Yeah,
Or wipe
let's.
it out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of the things. I think we mentioned it in the last two of the side quests where we were chatting about. At the start, we all watched each other's. We knew what was going to happen, and then we sort of stopped that and sort of try to make it a bit more exciting and stuff. That was really exciting. It was like,
Yeah.
please crash, please crash, please crash. Please don't get 60,000. Because I eke
Bloody
over 60. Like,
close. Well,
ah,
that goes my plan of just look at Cardinal's old leaderboard and just be within touching distance. That apparently he was holding back, and
mhm.
Why? Give it a
But
few
yeah.
goes, like to try and.
Hey, what a game! What a game! And what a challenge that was! And what a
great
result!
start.
What a result for Cardinal. Anyway, what it basically means is Sherry's got a lot to do.
Especially
Um,
if points metrics, I feel as if this season we're kind of throwing out the 3-2-1-0 rule a lot of the time now.
Well, yes, there are more challenges. Like what we said it in the side quest, where the last challenge of season 1 kind of threw off the foundation a wee bit
Yeah.
of what the podcast was, and in order
When we had
to
100 points up for grabs.
Yeah.
in order to make those type of episodes fairer, then we have to have more challenges prior that give more than 3 points, and that was what we decided unanimously. In order to make those episodes possible, we need to sort of equalize the season in other
Absolutely.
places, and this is just one way of doing it, by giving out more than 3 points per week. And then we have given out a crazy amount of points. Like, you think about Sherry finished season 1 with 9 points at the last episode is what he was sitting on. All of a
Cardinals
sudden,
eclipsed it nearly
Cardinals
in
on
one
8
episode.
in one episode, in one challenge. But well chosen, Cardinal.
Like, it's
Well
great,
chosen.
great start. Should
But
do it
this
again.
is one thing this is highlighting to me is those grudge chips could be very, very important.
Hmm.
Who knows?
The Cardinal
Pause for
continues
ponder.
this.
High scores, high ponders.
And speaking of pondering, if you're pondering, how can you get in touch with us at High Scores, High Stakes? Meet us in the next section. We'll tell you exactly how to do that. And that is that. Episode 1, Season 2 completed it, mate. It's a wrap. It is a wrap. We have done it.
Fantastic.
At long last, Season 2 has arrived, and it has started with aplomb. What a performance. Cardinal Smith.
Kudos to Cardinal Smith. Absolutely.
Skin of his teeth for more than one category, but that's the way we want it. That's the way it's got to be. We have to be more competitive with one another. We have to not take it easy like we did in the last one. It's just go for it.
That's it.
Low scores,
just
high
go for it.
stakes.
But it's good
High
to know that
scores.
skin of your teeth is just enough now. We're all improving.
Exactly.
We're all getting.
That's it.
We're all up there now.
That's it. Are we taking it more seriously? Because you used to practice for 2 hours. That must be a first.
That's
Must
the
be.
least. I think that's the least we've ever put into one of these challenges, season 1 and side quests. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not as much as we put into Rocket League together before.
No.
Oh yeah.
No,
Less
that's
said on
true.
that, though.
That's
The less
true.
said, the better. We don't talk about Rocket League anymore.
So I wouldn't talk about it if I performed the way you and Sherry
Oh,
did. I
tell
wouldn't
me
talk
about
about
it.
it either. What's
It's
Rocket
in the
League?
past. It's in the past. We're season 2 now. We're new vibes, new look, new aesthetic, new transitions. The works.
That's it. But not everything in the past cannot be in the present or the future. Kind of like our linking you to our social medias at the end of every episode, and this is
Beautiful.
not going to be any different. So if you want to join the conversation with us, the best place to do that is Discord. If you want to try your hand at Wipeout Omega Collection, Wipeout HD, Zone Mode in Vanetta K. Go for it. Get your score, take a screenshot, and throw it up onto episode 1, season 2 server on Discord and join the league table that's going on over there as well. If you want to know where our Discord server is, its link is in the description of this podcast. Give it a click, it'll bring you straight there. It's a wonderful place full of wonderful people. So you can also catch us on all the other social medias if you want to see memes, if you want to see content, if you want to see jokes, if you want to see this day on PlayStation, you can go to one of two places. Twitter, where you can find us as, well, x.com/hscoreshstakes. It's Twitter. Or Instagram, and on Instagram we are at High Scores High Stakes Podcast. There we do lots and lots of different stuff. If you want to see updates to the season challenge, which is City Skyline, so you can get the biggest population, we will update you in the podcast. The best place to get more up-to-date stats will be on Twitter and Instagram, where we'll be doing regular updates on everyone's city to see who's winning that. And then finally, we have something new this season. We're all going to try our hand at some live streaming on twitch.tv. It's really, really exciting. On twitch.tv, we are /High Scores High Stakes. I'm not going to promise you a regular schedule. I'm not going to promise you top quality gameplay. But what I will promise you is on more than one night of the week, you will see either myself, Cardinal, Sherry, or Tomahawk playing some game, giving it our best, trying it and seeing how we get on. It could be a game we're playing casually. It could be a game we're speedrunning. It could be practicing for other challenges in season 2. It could be. I'm not going to lie, it could be. It could also be me playing Alien Isolation or Resident Evil non-stop. You never know. The only way to find out is to get yourself over there. Twitch.tv /High Scores High Stakes. And speaking of other challenges in season 2, I forgot to mention this at the start of the episode. Another change is we're not going to bore you.
We can't keep up.
We're not going to bore you to death by not telling you what the next game is or what the next challenge is. We're going to tell you, because why not? So we're going to have to find new content for the Instagram with all these clues and hints and tips.
All these like obscure hints and pixelated photographs. The days are gone. That's it.
It's a good thing with social media managers. We're not doing it ourselves. So
that would be more work.
Next Monday, the game is the single greatest first-person shooter ever created. It's got giant robots and even gianter guns. It's Titanfall 2. And what we are going to do is we are going to have a 2v2. And we're going to determine those teams in the tradition of High Scores, High Stakes by Cardinal spinning that wheel. Spin her up.
I just want to say, if this ends up, you two, Luvva and Tomahawk, played this game as a grudge chip last season. I have never played this game. If this ends up with you two as a team, then GG. Let's have the first spin. She's going.
First spin. Team 1.
That's a long
first
spin.
Player.
I turn that down.
First player, team 1 is Sherry.
John Sherry.
As we know from season 1 Call of Duty, Sherry
FPS.
He is the FPS specialist. So whoever comes out next, oh dear. Let's spin the wheel and find out.
The Sherry monster.
Pray for team 2 now is all I'll say.
Indeed.
Here we go. First up the face.
Stop.
Keep
Stop.
going.
Stop.
Keep going.
It's
Cardinal.
Wow.
Oh dear. Oh dear, Cardinal. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That is
see.
So this one
split you two up though. One
It
of you is
has.
going to be
This
paired with
is
Sherry.
yeah, the two
One of you is going to be paired with
the
this.
two
We all
Titanfall
know what
fanboys.
Yeah.
you all know what happened the last time Cardinal and I were in a team. It was destruction on a level never before seen by mankind.
I also remember Tomahawk beating you in the grudge chip battle.
I let him beat me.
What about in
Let's
Titanfall? Right. Now,
Way.
Hey,
the
last
final
spin,
spin
let's do it.
The
to
final spin.
partner Mr. John Sherry.
Be
Oh, it's
close.
spun past Luvva.
Oh
Oh, it's gone
no!
Tomahawk.
Oh, spin right, spin right, spin right. Oh no!
It's the
Oh
same
dear!
teams as Rocket League.
Oh
Oh
dear!
my goodness.
Sherry and
Oh
Tomahawk
dear!
versus Cardinal and Luvva.
Right. Oh
Just the
dear!
last spin to confirm.
Just to confirm, is it Luvva? Do we know? Can we confirm?
I think it's going to be
I
me.
think that's definitely going to be Lover then.
I think it's landed on Luvva.
Things you love to see.
Unbelievable. Right, that's a hefty draw. That is, ooh, that is a good one.
Interesting.
Titanfall 2, really good game, really competitive, really highly skill based. So remember, Cardinal, pre-aim, pre-shoot.
He's giving me the advice already.
I'm just using buzzwords that Sherry used in episode 3 of the last season. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what those terms mean, but we will get better at Titanfall 2.
I think he said,
That's
"Do you
what we're
guys
gonna
not
do.
use the mini map?"
I know what?
Keep that
What are
in
you
mind.
talking about? Yes, very, very much so. Right, so that is business concluded, mischief managed, as they would say in Harry Potter. So until next Monday, I've been Mr. Luvva Luvva. This has been High Scores, High Stakes. Love you all. Bye.
Good evening.
Good night.